Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation by Reverend Sturkey of St. John's Episcopal Church. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. O God, the fountain of wisdom, whose will is good and gracious and whose law is truth, be with us as we gather this evening for the Gloucester Township Council meeting. Bless David, our mayor, and grant him wisdom and grace in the exercise of his duties. We beseech you so to guide and bless our council members that their actions and decisions this night will please you and be to your glory and honor. Give them courage, wisdom, and foresight to provide for the needs of the community. Be with all those who serve the greater good in the public service of police, fire, and emergency workers. Keep them safe when they are called into dangerous situations. Teach our people to rely on your strength and to accept their responsibilities to their fellow citizens, that they may elect trustworthy leaders and make wise decisions for the well-being of our society, that we may serve you faithfully in our generation and honor your holy name. For yours is the kingdom, O Lord, and you are exalted as head above all others. Amen.
This regular meeting of the Township Council is being held in accordance with the scheduled meetings of the Township Council established and adopted by the Township Council, which schedule designated the time, date, and place of this meeting. Adequate public notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. We are using an electronic amplifying and recording device, and in order to obtain an audible and clear record, we request that all those wishing to speak be recognized and state your name and address directly into the microphone. The recording device to be solely utilized by the Township Clerk's Office and shall be the official record of the Township Council meetings. Roll call. Clerk.
Mr. Hutchison?
Present.
Mr. Schmidt? Mr. Seiler?
Here.
Mrs. Strada?
Here.
Mrs. Winters? Here. Mr. Mercado?
Present.
Mr. Bianchini? Mr. Lechner?
Here.
Chief Earl?
Here.
Mr. Carlemere?
Here.
Mr. Parks?
Here. Both Mr. Schmidt and Mr. Bianchini have family commitments. We'll now open the first public portion. This public portion shall be for agenda items only. Mr. Kolakowski.
Good evening. Robert Kolakowski, Lincoln Drive, Glen Oaks. I was wondering about 1405-151, the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant. I was wondering, it says various activities. I was wondering what those activities were.
I'm going to start off and I'm going to give the baton to Chief Earl. I know that they have participated in this particular grant for the last 4 or 5 years.
Correct.
And the City of Camden's Police Department, would it be Camden County now?
Would be, yes.
Yes. Camden County Police serves as the lead agency, and there's several other agencies, about 5 or 6 of them that participate in this grant. Chief?
It's about $21,000 and some change, and it'll be utilized to purchase tasers.
Okay. And
Lack of a better explanation than tasers.
okay. And the only thing, third paragraph, since you brought that up, I was going to bring that up too. It reads, the Township of Gloucester is required to enter into an interlocal services agreement with the Camden City Police Department. Does that not need to be changed?
I read that, yeah, I want to read that earlier. I would admit, so yes. We'll make that amendment. We'll make that amendment. Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the first public portion. Minutes, please.
Waive the reading and accept the minutes of the regular minutes for May 12th, 2014, and the executive minutes of May 12th.
I'll entertain a motion. Second. On the question, roll call.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Seiler?
Yes.
Mrs. Strada?
Yes.
Mrs. Winters? Yes. Mr. Mercado?
Yes. We have resolutions, consent agenda. Any council member that would like to take any resolutions off the consent agenda, please speak up. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
With the on the question, with the amendment to 151, changing that from the City of Camden to the Camden County Police Department. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Seiler?
Yes.
Mrs. Fryer?
Yes.
Mrs. Winters? Yes. Mr. Mercado?
Yes. We have an add-on resolution R14:05-157.
Resolution authorizing execution of agreement between the Township of Gloucester and Genesis.
The chief had asked to have this placed on the agenda tonight, and that request was granted. Bids were open today.
Yep.
There was one individual that responded back. This is for the substance abuse advocate to work with our court system and the police department. Is there any questions on this? I entertain a motion. So moved.
Second.
On the question, roll call.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Seiler?
Yes.
Mrs. Fryer?
Yes.
Mrs. Winters? Yes. Mr. Mercado?
Yes. We have 3 GT Gov access emails and a hand-delivered correspondence. I'll start with the first one from Mr. Heinbach, Pete Heinbach from 2 Morningstar Court. Could you download on the GlowTwip website 3 financial documents that seem to have been forgotten? The bill list from May 12, 2014, the bill list from May 28, 2014, and the report of audit of financial statements 2013. The first 2, the bill list of May 12th and May 28th, are now on the website. And the third one, the report of audit of financial statements, we still have auditors that are still working on this year's audit, this past year's audit 2013. Once that's completed, of course, we'll put it on the website. Second question from Mr. Pete Heinball from 2 Morningstar Court. An audit being conducted by the state of New Jersey related to the township's energy grant was mentioned at a previous council meeting. When will this audit be performed? This has to go out to bid for a third party, and we're working with our energy consultant to put the specs together, and this is for the ESIP program. Anything else to add to that, Tom? Okay. Question number 3 from Pete Heinball, 2 Morningstar Court. Has the Safe Route to School Lily Sidewalk grant application been submitted? If so, can you please explain the rationale that was used to comply with the grant criteria? And if it's approved, will Gloucester Township be responsible for any of the cost? This application was discussed at our May workshop. Has it been submitted, Mr. Cantwell?
The deadline is June 30th,
Okay.
so it has not been submitted. We're putting together the information now. We've got a resolution endorsing it from the Board of Education. Finalizing the estimate. Your design has actually been done previously from man engineers. They'll be doing the inspections on this. What was the rest of that question?
Can you please explain the rationale to comply with the grant criteria?
Well, the original request came from some residents in the area to provide walking paths to the Little Elementary School. The Safe Routes to School program is a federal program. They're trying to encourage more students to walk to school, take the opportunity to walk to school for health reasons. It's a federal program, as I said. This will tie various small communities from West Annapolis Road, I think it is, down to the Lily School, to the school. So they have the opportunity to walk to school if they so choose, or to walk to events if they so choose. And that meets the criteria of the grant application.
And if approved, will the Gloucester Township be responsible for any of the costs?
Well, once we're ready to finalize, I was going to talk to Mr. Cardis to see if there was any interest in having a shared cost. Obviously, you get more points when we're grading it if the applicant is sharing some of the costs. You have already paid for the design, and that probably will count for your share. The grant doesn't require a share. It just gives you a little leg up on your competition if there's a share. So that's a discussion we'll have once we have your costs set.
Well, John, this is comment or question. When this was forwarded to the Board of Education, the Gloucester Township Board of Education, we're looking for a letter of support or a resolution.
Did they have passed that?
Yes. There were some questions at their last board meeting regarding having a sidewalk placed there on Williamstown Road. And I was there in my other capacity, and I just sat there listening to the questions, and there was concern about children walking to school. But I think most of the concerns that were expressed there by the folks that were on the board or also in the audience, none of those individuals have children that are probably walking anywhere in this town. I deal with a population every day in the school district where there are people who do walk to get where they have to go or ride their bikes. There are people who walk on Sicklerville Road, on Williamstown Road, on the side, on the grass. But if there's an opportunity to provide some sidewalks in the southern end of our town, I think this is a good start. So.
Yeah, it doesn't, and there was a concern, if they would be required to not bus, and the busing doesn't affect busing, though. We can still keep the same busing they have now. This provides an opportunity also for after-school activities. There's fields in the school, and there might be other activities in the future, and people can walk to it. And frankly, the sidewalks there for everybody in the township to use who live in that area.
Absolutely. Even if it's on the weekend and the kid wants to go play basketball in the back of Lily School, there's a sidewalk they can
There's a way
walk
to
on
get there, you
rather
sidewalk,
than
yeah.
walking on Williamstown Road.
Yes.
So, thank you. The fourth one is for Mr. Gerald Dunleavy from 82 Highland Avenue. I'll summarize this. He called Public Works on May 15, 2014 regarding a drainage problem across the street. There's an open area of stone and sand, and he spoke with Mr. Bucciaroni in the Public Works Department. The drainage issue is caused by clay or marl, as he described it. He's asked if something could be done to remove the marl and have that investigated. Public Works was supposed to come out the following Monday or Tuesday, and no one had ever showed up. So we'll follow up with Public Works, Mr. Dunleavy. Ray, I know you dropped this off. You have a phone number for him you can give to us?
Okay.
At the end of the meeting? Thank you. We'll open up our second public portion. Anyone wishing to speak? Yes, ma'am. That's a great sweatshirt you have on. Stockton College.
I totally agree. Just graduated, by the way.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Master's.
Oh, very good.
My name is Judy Russo, and I live in the Cherrywood residential section of the township. I've lived and worked in this township for close to 50 years and have enjoyed almost every minute of it. But I'm here tonight because I have a problem that I hope can be solved somehow. Everyone here, I presume, is familiar with the sound of a generator. Okay, but I don't think anybody has to live with one every day, running, okay? I have somebody behind me who has a generator as the main source of their energy in their house, I guess. And it's outside, and it backs up to my yard, and it's pretty loud, and sometimes it runs 5-8 hours a day. And I have called the code people. I talked to the code. He said there's no generator code. I called the police. He came out. He talked to the person who was in the house, but nothing changed. And I'm still following up on what that gentleman told the police officer. I don't know what the feedback is. I don't know how long he plans to have this running, but I know I can't live there without that. I mean, my holiday was ruined because he ran it all day on Saturday when we were trying to do a barbecue out in the backyard. So we got moved inside because it's just too much noise. I don't know what the solution is. I called the fire marshal, he hasn't called me back yet. And I've been directed to everyone that everyone here has directed me to. But the problem is not yet solved, and I don't think I can want to go through this whole summer or however long with this in the backyard. So, but the answer is I don't know, but I'm just trying to make you aware.
What's the reason for the generator?
I have no idea. I see the back of it. It's on a big roll cart with wheels. It's got wires going up into the second floor and the first floor.
If the utilities have been shut off,
Yeah.
and the generator is being utilized to maintain the utilities, I would think that that's a hazardous situation.
Well, I was told that generators aren't hazardous. That's what they're designed to do. So I don't know what the fire marshal will think. I'm not sure. I haven't heard from him yet. But I mean, I'm 3 weeks into this now.
3 weeks.
3 weeks, and I don't want to come home every night and listen to this generator run until he goes to bed. He's very aware of the time code, the sound thing.
He's aware of that.
He's aware of that because it's off every night at about 9:30. So, and he knows, I guess, he can run it from 8 in the morning till 10 at night and longer on the weekends. But
Ms. Russo?
nobody else seems to complain. I don't think there's anybody living next door to him, so that might be the reason there.
Do you have fumes coming from the generator as well?
I don't know. I'd have to walk to the back of my yard and look over I don't smell anything. I don't smell anything.
I don't have an answer for you now, but we're going to find you an answer.
I hope so.
Can you come up here, provide us your phone number for the clerk,
Sure.
and we'll contact you. Some thoughts are in my head of where we can go with this, but rather than sending you in the wrong direction, I want to just have you running more than the municipal building. We'll take down your phone number and contact you.
I also don't know if he's a renter there or the owner. I don't know the person. But I did look up, there's a two-person name on the tax records, and I don't know if that's him. I don't see anybody but this one person. So,
All right, could you come up with your
thank
phone
you,
number?
sure.
Anyone else? Mr. Kolakowski?
Howard Kolakowski, Lincoln Drive, Glen Oaks. Had two things, but I'll add a third. Concerning the sidewalk at Lilly, is that also going to include curbing too, or is it just the sidewalk?
I believe it includes curbing. We didn't do the design, another firm did the design. There will be curbing along there. County has to approve it. I know it's been submitted to the county. I don't think they've given the main engineer who's going to design the actual, their comments yet, but that's.
Okay, because
I can't imagine it doesn't have curbing.
pardon me?
I can't imagine it doesn't have curbing because I had conversation with the design engineer over there to discuss the need for curb width.
Yeah, because I go by going to work, coming back to work, and it's just flat there. If you put a sidewalk there without any curbing, a car could just, easily sway over and, have a tragedy there. So that's good news. Second thing, I noticed two things I noticed this week. On Choose Landing Road here, there are white markings now on the blacktop. There are white markings around all the manhole covers. There are lines that look like it follows the sewer line. You go closer to the park, right before I think the park, there's an area that's marked up, and I think it says mill on there. Are we expecting more work on Choose, and what will it be, and how torn up will it? Yeah.
I honestly don't know. That's a CCMUA project, Canyon County Municipal Utility Authority. I thought they were done. The markings look like somebody's marking out the utilities. There might be some repair work that's needed. It's around the manholes. Maybe there's a problem with the castings of the manholes. They have to replace those around the pavement to do it. But I'm just guessing.
Okay,
It's just-
because it's every manhole has it around it, and again, all other markings. And I just didn't know whether we were going to have to put up with.
I do know, just from riding the road, that those manholes are recessed quite a bit, more than what you usually see. I don't know how they would go about raising the manholes, but it would seem to me that that's what needs to happen. Because each one of those is a dent.
Right.
If you hit it with your car, you
Yeah.
can feel it.
Yeah.
We'll make a couple phone calls.
Okay, I was just wondering because we had to live through it for months, and I was worried that we'd have to live through it again. Finally, I just noticed this, I think, on Friday, and I'd asked about it last year sometime. I did notice that Glen Oaks has got signage.
Yes,
I was wondering who did it.
I saw it this past Friday too, and I was like, where did that happen? It says Glen Oaks, Gloucester Township.
Do we,
I think that was PW.
Was it? Okay.
who's that?
Graffiti by
Public
Glen Oaks.
Works.
Public Works?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, see that? On the brick there,
Yeah.
Stony, at least the Glen Oaks, it says Glen Oaks now for Gloucester Township.
Well, it's on both sides. And it looks very good, and whoever is responsible, I'd like to thank them for it.
Township.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Mr. Dale.
Good evening, Jim Kibbles, this Ariel. Follow-up on the sidewalk. I believe it ends at Lily School. Does it go from the street to the school, through the driveway? I don't believe there's a sidewalk there now.
I couldn't answer that, Jim. As I said, I didn't do the design. I don't know how the end marries into the school. I can find out.
Yeah, I'm just curious to coordinate, putting the sidewalk there and then not being able to go from the street to the
The
school.
plan is submitted to our office from the design engineer. Somebody else is putting the application together. So I'm not familiar with the details of it.
Okay,
Okay.
very good. Thank you.
I'll check into that.
Yes, Ms. Carter.
Joanne Carr, Timber Birch. First, how's Glenn?
Glenn is doing well. I expect him probably here probably the next month or so. But he's home and doing much better.
Happy to hear it. At the last meeting, I asked you to check something out for me. You said you would get to the mayor.
Okay. Can you remind me?
It was about the, you were voting on taking over the mowing chores for the county on College Drive, the ramps on College Drive.
Yes, okay. What was the particular,
Well,
I'm sorry.
I have a personal bug in my bonnet about things that we take over for the county. I mean, they're responsible for some things and we're responsible for others. And all of a sudden, they're patting themselves on the back for lowering our county taxes. And it's okay for everybody else, but we're picking up the full freight. They asked us to take care of the ramps coming off of the new College Drive exchange onto 42. And I did ask if it would include snow removal as well, but you didn't believe so, so it would just be cutting the grass. And basically what I said was, what are we getting out of it? I mean, they're not having to pay anybody to do it. We have landscapers that we are paying to do little pocket spots. So this is another bill that's tacked on to us. It's not a lot of money, but it's just more money that all of Gloucester Township is bearing the burden of, and not the county. Is the county giving us anything in return?
I thought there was an exchange on that, in terms of services that we would have to provide if they did not provide those for us, and services that they needed to have provided. And I'll have to go back over that and just.
That particular interchange?
Yes. Yeah, that interchange.
I know when we had asked Public Works to go out to bid on that, it costs more to our contractors than if we would go up to the county.
Correct.
Yeah, it's expensive with the county.
And now it's going through our contractors.
No, it's not going through our contractors.
We were responsible for this service. It's not the county's service, or it's not the county's responsibility to do this. It was ours.
Why?
We had to provide the cuttings for this interchange.
Why? Does Belmar provide cuttings up there?
I can't answer that
So-
question, but I remember at a few workshops, I took the position, why are we doing this? Why should we have to do this?
Right.
They should. And finally it got back that it was our responsibility to take care of the cuttings. So I can't go back 6 months and remember specifically why, but I know I raised that question. So having been advised that it is our responsibility, the next thing was, what's the most efficient, economical way to address it? Is it to utilize contractors that we would hire, or is it to utilize the county's capacity to handle this? And when we weighed the two together, it was cheaper to do it that way and to make a direct payment to the county. Is my memory correct?
You're correct. There are responsibilities of Gloucester Township out there, and I believe cutting was one of our responsibilities. I can't say exactly why, but
I mean, I remember, I didn't
Okay.
think it would.
So I misunderstood what was voted on then 2 weeks ago. I figured we were voting on we were taking on that responsibility, but what you're saying now is the county's still doing it, we're just paying them to do it.
No, the county is securing private contractors to do some of that work.
And who's paying it?
We are.
We are. I thought that's what I just said, but
The
okay.
county's going to pay the contractor, we pay the county.
Gotcha. Okay. Who's responsible for the ramp coming out of Pine Run, going up onto 42?
I believe that's our responsibility.
We do that one?
We've looked at the problem out there with
The trees?
well, not the trees, there's an area that there was a sinkhole along the right side as you go out before you hit the actual ramp.
Uh-huh.
And I know we looked at that, and John asked for a question, is it our responsibility or not? And we determined it was our responsibility.
And where we get off going south at Lower Landing Road?
I believe
That's
again,
ours?
I believe that would be our responsibility, yes.
Okay, all right. I had it wrong the whole time then. Thank you for straightening that for me. Okay, I have one other follow-up. Several months ago, I had asked the question that you had always said that because of the single-stream trash cans, I just had this discussion with my grandson. He had to ask a question, and he doesn't like the trash cans. And he goes, I don't like the big trash cans. I said, well, what is it you don't like about them? That they're pink, that they're this? Now he's this high. He goes, it's my job to take them out and they're too big. I said, well, Jack, you'll grow into it. You'll grow into that job. But we had the whole discussion as to how much easier it is with it being single stream. It's wonderful, and it saved the township $300 in paying somebody to get rid of our trash, $300,000 to get rid of our trash. My question was, have we figured out how much more money has come into the coffers from the increased volume of the single stream? And does it come into our coffers, or does it come into the GTMUA coffers?
No, it comes to the township. I can't tell you the exact amount, but I could look at it. It's the annual tonnage grant. It has increased substantially. I don't have those numbers for you though, Joanne.
Okay.
I have to pull those.
Okay. I'll come back in 2 months and ask again.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Ray?
Good evening, Council. Ray Paldor Ariel. I will keep the night brief. First, I also would like to wish President Bianchini quick recovery. Hope to see him back in council soon. I also asked at the last meeting, acting council vice president, 2 questions you were checking with the mayor.
You gotta refresh my memory.
I was
I know you will.
I was really going to try and let you shine to see if you remembered, but the first question was how much electricity was being produced within the boundaries of Gloucester Township by solar.
Second one.
You didn't get to meet up with the mayor? Okay. The second one was the 5-day work week like the rest of us have.
On the solar, I'm not sure if he's going to have an answer available for you, but I will speak to him regarding that. And on the 5-day work week, I'll address that with him as well.
Okay. If anybody, I would think the mayor might have that answer as part of the master plan. They'd have some idea with all the capacity, solar panels, solar fields, solar roofs, and what have you. That somewhere along the line there'd have to be some measurable amount of electricity. I'll even take a ballpark, that'd be fine. At the last meeting, you spoke of the Gloucester Township street sweeping equipment visiting some other towns. Is the street sweeper under the jurisdiction of the Public Works, is that correct?
Yes.
Does Public Works have a schedule, a mapped out schedule of the township, what within the boundaries of Gloucester Township is done, when scheduled to be done, anything that would look like an itinerary for the street sweeping vehicle at this point? Do you know?
I don't know, Tom, would you, I
I
would,
believe they do, I'm not certain.
And notwithstanding, would that mean that before we venture into sweeping other people's streets, that
clean our streets first.
we'll clean every street in Gloucester Township before we clean the first street in another municipality? Is that something that our government and our Public Works will be looking to see that is done before we?
Ray, this is going to weird you out. I agree with that sentiment, yes, that we should clean our streets first before we go up to Stratford.
Excellent.
The contract that we have with them is two Fridays, correct? 2 Fridays, okay.
Per year? 2 sweepers, 2 Fridays.
I was most impressed to hear the great portion of town of Ariel mentioned earlier in the night. And being from Ariel, in all the years I have lived here, I have never seen a street sweeper. It would be pretty exciting to see that come by the street before I hear of Stratford's streets being swept. It'd be nice. They're just going to have to be careful because our street's only 1 inch thick. We don't want them sweeping the street up. Fourth item. The lady that spoke earlier about the gentleman or the resident across from her that has the generator, and in a most compassionate way, not knowing their financial situation or why the need for that generator. Those who have rented generators know there's various grades of generators. Rather than approaching the legality of whether he can have that generator or not, and maybe out of necessity he needs that, and in the most compassionate way we can understand that, how about maybe addressing the grade of generator that he has? They're rated by sound, some of them, and maybe look at the option of a certain decibel or sound rating on that, which might satisfy both parties, both the lady that has to listen to it and the residents that need that energy as a backup or primary method of electricity. Just a suggestion. And last but not least, we know how beneficial, both financially and for the well-being of our residents, the red light cameras are. The conversation has begun right across the bridge. And I'm just curious as to if anyone in our council or in our government has any thoughts of our red light cameras turning to be used for speeding. As we know, the cameras are already equipped for that. Is there any intention in the minds of our council that it would be used in that capacity?
We have not had that discussion here. Tom, the mayor's office, Mr. Cantwell.
I think we might need to have state legislation.
Yeah, there's no reason.
I'm not sure.
Nothing to allow them.
You touched that third rail for a second though, Ray? Nobody up here has discussed it as far as I know. But, I'll tell you, if there were state legislation that would permit it, I would think about it in the sense that if you had a road where there was a lot of people, like I grew up on Laurel Road, people would whiz by at 55, 60 miles an hour on that. If there was something that would cause people to slow down and respect the speed limit, I mean, I would consider it, but I haven't thought about it at this point in time.
Okay. Well, first off, I think the method of having people slow down, I think our police and their presence provide extremely adequate devices for that. I don't know that a camera would be necessary to do that, but it's just my feeling that once Philly starts bringing in the revenue, that's how it started, and that's how it always starts, once it becomes that. But I think before this council thinks about using them as speeding, I think maybe having a more sensible approach to how many cameras we really need here. There are just some that are a waste, and back-to-back intersections by Rita's Water Ice, and
I'm not suggesting I'd be in favor, but I recognize the need to slow people down. I live on Somerdale Road, and sometimes I'm riding on that road, there'll be a police officer in the shoe school parking lot, but once people get past, they blow through pretty fast. I pull out on the Somerdale Road, and I'm constantly looking in my rearview mirror, hoping that these people slow down. So, it's working.
Okay, well, that's it for this evening. Thank you, have a good night.
Anyone else? We'll close the second public portion, calling the directors.
Mr. Lechner?
I have nothing to report, thank you.
Chief Earl?
Nothing to report, thank you.
Mr. Hutchison?
Thank you very much for coming out this evening.
Mr. Seiler?
Yes, a couple of weeks ago, the mayor awarded medals to World War II veterans from Gloucester Township. We didn't know how many World War II veterans were still living, but we did come up with 31 that came out and attended the ceremony. And it was conducted at Timber Creek High School before the student body there. And they seemed very appreciative of it, and also the veterans, they greatly appreciated the honor. And I think it was a worthwhile venue for the township. Thank you.
Mrs. Turner?
Thank you and have a good week.
Mrs. Winters?
Thank you for coming out and have a great week.
Mr. Mercado?
I want to thank the Veterans Affairs Committee and also Mr. Seiler for this Memorial Day service that we held this past Monday. It gets bigger and bigger each year, and one new component that was added this year was recognizing our high school seniors that had enlisted into the armed forces. So congratulations to them, and thank you very much. Also, June 7th, Saturday is Gloucester Township Day. If you have an opportunity to come down to our park and jump on a ride or two, and we have fireworks at dusk. And the following week is Relay for Life in the park as well, the 14th and 15th. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, all in favor? Hey, have a good evening.